Now that someone is an adult, it doesn't mean that they will have their own life. No, practically their whole life could revolve around their parent or parents, with them behaving more like their parent than their child. Naturally, if a lot of their time and energy is being directed toward their parent, assuming it is only one, their life is going to suffer. If they had an endless amount of time and energy, this wouldn't be the case. But although they will be neglecting themselves, this might not be something that they are aware of. Thanks to how long they have been this way for, then, it won't stand out. Even so, behaving in this way is likely to cause them to experience a fair amount of frustration and anger. Still, they could do their best to keep their inner material at bay and carry on as normal. If they were to face how they feel and acknowledge that they feel this way because they are neglecting themselves, they could soon feel guilty and ashamed. Due to this, they could soon suppress how they feel. As a result of how painful these feelings will be, and what they believe would happen if they were to change their behavior, they will feel compelled to avoid how they feel. These feelings will be seen as a sign that they would be doing something wrong if they changed their behavior. In reality, these feelings are irrational, as they should be able to put themselves first without feeling guilty or ashamed. Focusing on their parent is then going to have a negative impact on them, but if they felt comfortable with their needs, their life would be different. Their parent could make out, both directly and indirectly, that they are responsible for them. This could mean that they are not grateful for what they do for them, and simply expect them to be there for them. If they were to express a need, this parent could soon say something to try to make them feel guilty. This parent could say that they don't ask for much, and that they did a lot for them when they were younger. Based on how they often behave, it could be as if they are unable to comprehend that they have their own needs, let alone don't care about their needs, and are consumed by their own. Consequently, one may have experienced a lot of resentment over the years. And this feeling, along with the other feelings that they have suppressed and repressed over the years, could cause them to often be in a depressed state. What is clear from this is that their parent is unable to accept that they are a separate individual with their own needs and feelings and life to lead. One is then going to be seen as nothing more than an extension of them. If this is so, the only way that they are going to be able to live a life that is worth living is to take matters into their own hands. Their parent is too caught up with themselves to see how dysfunctional their behavior is and to be there for them. However, as dysfunctional as their parents' behavior is, it is unlikely to be any different to how they behaved during one's formative years. Most likely, this is how they behaved when one was a child. From a very young age then, they would have been forced to be there for their parent and to abandon themselves. And as they were powerless and totally dependent, there was absolutely nothing that they could do. They would then have had to disconnect from their needs and feelings and lose touch with their body in the process. Quite simply, it would have been too painful for them to be an embodied human being. Who they were, their true self, was not accepted by this parent, and this is why they had to lose touch with themselves and develop a disconnected false self. This false self would have been focused on their parents' needs and reflected the person who they wanted them to be, a needless human being. As to why this parent couldn't accept them as they were and provide them with the love that they needed to grow and develop in the right way, it was probably due to the fact that they were emotionally underdeveloped. Their physical and mental self would have grown, but their emotional self wouldn't have. During their formative years, their parent or parents were probably unable to give them the love that they needed. Therefore, they had to lose touch with themselves and give at a stage when they desperately needed to receive. The years would then have passed, and they would have gone from a disconnected child to a disconnected adult, and, without realizing it, turned their child into the parent that they never had. This will show that they were too wounded to be able to see how destructive their behavior was. With this in mind, the reason that one was deprived of what they needed was that their parent was also deprived and was unable to pass on what they themselves hadn't received. There was a blockage of love in their family line, and this could go back many, many generations. So with this in mind, if you can see that you spend a lot of time doing things for your parent or parents, and this causes you to neglect yourself, then this may be a continuation of what took place during your formative years, with this being a time when you had to be there for your parent or parents. And so you would have had to lose touch with your needs and feelings and to behave more like a parent than to be a child. And this would have deprived you of what you needed to go through each developmental stage. And so although many, many years would have passed since you were a child, you will still be in a developmentally stunted state. And for you to realize at the core of your being that your needs are not bad, your feelings are not bad, and that you deserve to have your own life. You are likely to have beliefs to question and pain to work through. And to do this, you may need to reach out for external support. But the main thing is that you do what you need to do to gradually change your life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.